Hello, world. Welcome to Clear the Air, the podcast, episode 7. My name is Jenna. I'm excited to be sharing an important topic with you in today's world today and in the sustainability world that we don't often think about. Today, we are going to be talking about ways to clean sustainably that is inexpensive. And specifically, we are going to be looking at my top 3 cleaning methods that are cheap, sustainable, and you probably have these ingredients on hand already. Why is this so important right now? It's pretty clear. Clean, clean, clean. That is what we are being told with the coronavirus outbreak. For reference, I'm filming this on March 26th. I think it's important to be putting these timestamps in the episodes right now just because sometimes I film in advance, and by the time I put the episode actually out, by the time the episode actually gets published, things could be changing rapidly. So it's just good to kind of have that reference and know where I'm filming and how things might be changing in the future. So these tools can help you clean your home, clean your space, clean your items to protect yourself against coronavirus and protect others against coronavirus. And they also can be used in your daily life. These are the 3 staple ingredients that I use when I'm cleaning. I very rarely use conventional cleaning products simply because they're expensive, they're hard to get, they produce a lot of waste. We'll go into all that very shortly. Before we get into the content, please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe to Clear the Air podcast. This is how we reach more people in our audience, how we get the message out there, and how we educate, inspire, and mobilize youth to take climate action. The more people we reach, the faster we can contribute to a sustainable future. On another note, I hope you're all doing well. I've been saying this the past few episodes, but honestly, taking care of yourself right now is so critical, so important. If my podcast or my blog was all about personal well-being, I would be so happy to be posting about that all the time. And I have posted about that in the past, but because we are more focused on sustainability, that's what I like to post about. But I don't want to forget about the importance of self-care and taking care of yourself and just being kind to yourself. I'll be honest, the past couple of days have been pretty rough for me. Just personal reasons, unexpected changes, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and haven't been sleeping all that much. But it's okay. Things are going to pass. I'm trying to be kind to myself, trying to be forgiving, recognizing that the current situation is out of my control and I just kind of have to go with the flow. I have to be kind to myself, I have to be kind to others, and I have to be grateful for the relationships I have in my life. And even if things aren't going as planned or as I would wish right now, I just know that we will get over this as a society when we come together and we think of everyone and we support one another. We will come out of this much stronger and much more connected. So if you're having those rough moments in life like I have had the past couple of days, just tell yourself you will get over it and you'll be stronger, and you just need to think about the end. You need to think about the positivity. You need to be kind to yourself. So on that note, let's shift gears. Coronavirus is big in the news right now, and so taking care of yourself and your surroundings by cleaning is so essential. You need to be constantly cleaning surfaces that you're interacting with a lot, surfaces that multiple people are interacting with, let's say like kitchen counters, doorknobs, things like that. Even the produce that you eat, packages that you get from the grocery store, things that could come in contact with yourself or people a lot. Even your phones. If you are not cleaning your phones, you should be doing that on a regular basis. I know as a student, cleaning might not be your priority. Trust me, I know a lot of university students who don't care about cleaning or don't even consider cleaning. I know people that didn't even clean their bathrooms for the entire semester or 2 semesters, and it blows my mind because I'm a pretty big neat freak. So when I see that, I'm like, no, sorry, I can't do that. But I get it. As a university student, especially, or a high school student, you're tired, you have other things to be doing. And if you have to be buying those cleaning materials, they can be expensive, especially if you were trying to promote sustainability and you're trying to buy quote unquote eco-friendly products. Those have a very high price in comparison to others. And are they really better? We'll talk about that in a second. But I have 3 ingredients that I use, and they're always on hand. They're basically the only things I use. Maybe I'll use something else in combination with them, but in general, they're the only things I use to clean, and I have never had problems with them. They are always the solution. Before I share those with you, let's quickly talk about why you shouldn't be using conventional cleaners. There's a few reasons for that. One of the most obvious is that they have a lot of synthetic chemicals. They're basically chemicals, and I am very mindful of the word chemicals, because my chemistry teacher in high school was very mindful of it and very passionate about the idea that everything's made of chemicals. So I don't want to put a bad connotation to the word chemicals, but the way we consider it as a society is chemicals are these synthetic materials, these compounds that impact our health, impact the environment, that aren't necessarily good. So when I'm talking about chemicals, that is what I am talking about right now. These man-made products that we don't really need but are causing a lot of damage in multiple ways. So for instance, household cleaners especially are very high in nitrogen and phosphorus, and aerosol cleaners are contributors to the global warming, to the greenhouse gas effect. They have these proven impacts, and that's kind of a problem when you're talking about global warming, because aerosols are contributing to global warming. And then for things like nitrogen and phosphorus, if you're using cleaning products, let's say a toilet cleaner or a kitchen tile cleaner, bathroom tile cleaner, whatever it is, if it contains these technically natural elements, but in very high amounts, and you're constantly cleaning and you're constantly washing them down the sinks, it's going into our water. That is polluting our waterways, especially if, let's say, there's a storm, if there's flooding, because that's one of the impacts of climate change that many cities are experiencing. There's increased flooding because there's more intense or more unpredictable precipitation events going on. And so when these water treatment centers or water systems, wastewater systems get overwhelmed, they spill all of their waste into streets, into the environment. So you have this excess nutrient overload, which I talk about in other blog posts that I can link in the show notes, but that can cause something called eutrophication in natural waterways, which essentially these elements like nitrogen and phosphorus create algae blooms or algal blooms, and these green masses cover the entire water surface, cut off the oxygen below the water, kill everything underneath the water, and then the surrounding environment, so animals, insects, all the things that used to use that water source for food, for drinking water, all those things are now dying too because they don't have that water surface. So those ingredients are not good. Moral of the story. On top of that, these conventional cleaners tend to be packaged in single-use packaging, often not recyclable or incorrectly recycled. Like if you have, let's say, laundry detergent and it comes in the recyclable tub, if you don't rinse that out, if it still has that residue of the laundry detergent, you actually can't recycle it because that's considered a contaminant. So you have to make sure you're cleaning it out if you're using something like that. On top of that, you're putting these chemicals into your body if you're not mindful of what you're using. So if you're using aerosol cleaners or an air freshener type of thing, that's an air freshener that's in an aerosol bottle, you're breathing that in, and not only that, if it lands on your skin, it actually can absorb into your bloodstream. And so you're putting all these chemicals that you don't really know and you don't understand into your body, and your body doesn't like that. With prolonged exposure to aerosols and other really intense synthetic cleaners, there have been issues related to respiratory problems. People who have asthma can struggle. There can be long-term impacts, chronic respiratory illnesses, and there has been linkages between toxic cleaning chemicals to birth defects in mothers that are cleaning with these products during the time of their pregnancy. So, in other words, not good for your health either. On the flip side, if you use quote-unquote sustainable cleaning products, like the ones that come in what look like recyclable paper boxes or recyclable cardboard containers, things like that, or they market themselves as natural, biodegradable, natural ingredients, that kind of thing, there's no proof that what you're using is better for you. And if anything, it's just a lot of greenwashing most of the time, where they say they're better, they say they're natural, but the term natural doesn't have any standardization behind it. It's not like the word organic. To be organic, you have to be certified, you have to go through testing. There's a very rigorous process with that, and forging that claim can lead to a lot of trouble. But with a word like natural, there's absolutely no certification required with that. So any company could put the word natural on their logo. So that's something really to be mindful of. And by putting these words like green, eco-friendly, natural, companies tend to hike their prices up higher because the consumers are willing to pay more for something they think is better for their environment or better for their health. So I don't really like these cleaners, and there's very specific brands that I have in mind as well that are like this. So just to be mindful of that when you are using these products, or if you are looking in the store to switch your habits, maybe don't try these conventional quote unquote sustainable cleaners, but instead try things within your house that you already have that I'm about to share with you. So now let's talk about my 3 favorite ingredients, items for cleaning. I found these through personal discovery, through research, as well as my mom, because she's a pro cleaner and she has influenced a lot of my natural habits. So shout out Mom, because I know you're listening, because you're my biggest fan. So these are very inspired by her and they've worked for me, and I am happy with what I'm doing. And not only are they much more natural in terms of you're not putting any crazy wild ingredients in your body or any chemicals in your body, they're things you can buy at the grocery store, at the bulk store. You probably already have them in your house, and they are crazy cheap. You will probably spend, if let's say you got a huge bulk supply of everything, of these ingredients to clean for 5 months or something like that, it might cost you, I don't know, $5 to $10 for all of that. Maybe. I probably less than that. So these are very affordable for students. They're very easy to use. You can have them for other purposes as well. So it's not like they're just taking up space. They have that multifunctionality, which is really important for students, and they're better for the environment. So what's not to like? All right, so my first natural ingredient, my go-to, is vinegar. And that probably sounds extremely basic and lame and underwhelming, but honestly, vinegar is the holy grail. It does everything. I clean my mirrors with it, I clean tiles with it, I clean the sink with it, I clean counters with it, I clean my produce with it. You can do everything with vinegar. I've tried getting stains out with vinegar and another ingredient, which I'll talk about shortly, and it works. Vinegar just does everything. It's amazing. And you can get a 1 liter bottle for $1, $2 at Walmart or grocery stores or any type of bulk store. It's amazing. And because it's so acidic, it kills bacteria and it can help strip away mold, so it can leave your tiles and your appliances spotless. I always have vinegar on hand at home, a huge jug of it, for both cleaning my house, cleaning my apartment, and then actually cleaning my produce when I go to eat it. One thing to keep in mind, because it is vinegar, usually it is already diluted because straight up vinegar is quite strong. But to make the most out of the vinegar bottle that I have, as well as just to reduce that acidity and reduce the intensity of it, I dilute it. And to do that, it's a 1-to-3 ratio. So 1 part's vinegar to 3 parts water. So that could be 1/3 cup of vinegar plus 1 cup of water. Put that into a spray bottle, shake it up, and then just spray it and clean. And it's great. Easy, simple, washes off, not a problem. It's also amazing for cleaning your toilet. Toilets are something I don't like cleaning the toilet. It's gross, especially if you're sharing the bathroom with someone. So sometimes I'll just spray vinegar in there in the dilution that I mentioned. Spray vinegar in there, leave it for 10 minutes, and then use a scrubby, scrub it down, no stains, it's gone. It's amazing. Vinegar is also amazing for cleaning your kettle, because if you live in Ontario or very specific areas of Ontario, the water is so hard, there's so much calcium in it, and if you've never bothered to look inside your tea kettle, you need to do that right now. because you need to clean it. It's gross. If you've seen little flaky pieces floating around in your tea, that's calcium. Like, get that out. And to do that, all you need to do is put vinegar in your kettle with some water. For this, I like to use a 1-to-2 ratio. So half a cup of vinegar to 1 cup of water. Maybe not that much for your kettle, maybe like a quarter a cup of vinegar to half a cup of water, and then boil it. Boil it a few times, mix it around, pour it out if the calcium's still in there, do it again, repeat it, and it just comes out. It's mind-blowing how good vinegar is for so cheap, and it's just so versatile. On the flip side, we just looked at a natural acid. Now we're going to look at a natural base that you have on hand, especially if you like to bake, and that is baking soda. So baking soda is an all-purpose, all-natural cleaner as well. One of the best ways to use it is to remove grease and to remove stains and things like that. So to do that, you can take a few tablespoons of baking soda and mix it with water until it makes a fine paste, a gritty paste. And then you can use an old toothbrush or any other type of coarse scrubbing material, and you can scrub whatever grease stain or whatever it is you need. You can use it on the bottom of your oven, which is really good for getting all those nasty, burnt, crusty pieces that you don't know where they came from, and every time you turn the oven on, it just smells really weird and you think you're going to burn the house down. You don't have to deal with that anymore because baking soda. So just take that paste, put it on the bottom of your oven, leave it for a few hours, and then scrub. But do not turn the oven on until you clean that out, okay? I don't know what would happen, but it's common sense. You can also use baking soda as a drain cleaner. So if your drain is clogged and water keeps getting stuck or things like that, you can use it to clean the drain by combining it with vinegar. So to do that, first pour 1 cup of boiling water down the drain, then pour half a cup of dry baking soda down, let that sit for a few minutes, then add 1 cup of vinegar, followed by another cup of boiling water, cover the drain with a plug or some sort of surface where air can't get through, and let that sit for 10 minutes. And then remove the plug, pour another cup of boiling water down just to flush everything out, and bam, your drain is cleaned. It's crazy. When you think about it, when we did those scientific experiments, like the volcano experiment with baking soda and vinegar, this is basically what's happening with that experiment. Although I never actually got to do the volcano experiment, and I'm kind of disappointed, so I had to live through movies to see it. But it's the same concept, except you're getting cleaning done for it, and it's pretty cool. So instead of having the mess of a volcano to deal with, you're cleaning up your mess in the drain. What's not to like? The last ingredient I want to talk about is yet another one you would find in your kitchen. Going back to the acids, now we're looking at lemons. I love lemon. I put lemon in my water, in my tea. I squeeze lemon juice into my soup, into my salads. Like, I put lemon in everything. So the fact that I can also use it for cleaning, it's a win, all the wins. Everything's a win. Some of the ways that you can use it, you can clean your copper or brass pots or any type of surfaces made of those materials, make them super shiny again because those surfaces often wear down or they get really grungy looking. So to make them like shiny new again, you can dip half a lemon into some salt and then scrub your pot with that. Takes food right off of dishes as well if you do this. It's also great for disinfecting and for killing bacteria. That's why people, if they're eating ceviche, they'll squeeze lemon onto the raw shrimp. I think it's raw. I've never actually had ceviche, so I'm sorry if I botched that, but you know what I mean. You'll squeeze lemon onto the raw or almost raw fish, and it kills bacteria. So that's essentially what it's doing when you are disinfecting your cutting boards by just rubbing a slice of fresh lemon across the surface. You can use lemon to clean your microwave as well. You can squeeze the juice of a lemon into 1/2 to 3/4 a cup of water. Then take the halves of the lemons and put those in the water as well, and then stick that bowl in the microwave for 3 minutes, and then let it stand for 10 minutes. Don't open the microwave. And then after those 10 minutes, you can open it up and then just wipe down the surface. So that reaction that went on during those 3 minutes when it was in the microwave and then letting it stand for 10 minutes allowed any food that was stuck, any stains to loosen up, so it's so much easier to clean afterwards. You just have to wipe it down and you're good to go. You can also use lemon to wipe away any calcium buildup on your mirrors or showers. Like I said, living in southern Ontario, there's calcium stains build up everywhere and it's so gross. So you can just rub that away with half a lemon and then rinse it with warm water and you're good to go. It's also really helpful for getting rid of discoloration in glass containers, plastic food containers, takeout containers. Some of my favorite foods to cook are curries, so I use spices like turmeric, curry powder, cumin, chili powder, paprika. I'm also obsessed with tomato-based things, so also staining. So my containers, when I bring lunches to school, they get destroyed. But to deal with that, all you have to do is just take a piece of lemon, rub it on the sides, leave it to dry in the sun, and then rinse it out with warm water. And then, oh my gosh, it's clean. It's crazy what lemon can do. Easy, affordable, you probably have it in your house. As you can see, cleaning your house, making sure you're safe from viruses, from bacteria, from all these other nasty things that we're trying to remove, really doesn't have to compromise your ability to live sustainably or to live in an affordable way. Especially as a student, I get it. You need to save money. You want to save time. You don't want to be buying all these extra things, all these products that are lined up in the grocery store that are just so confusing because they look like they all do the same thing, but they all have different price tags. You don't have to deal with that. You don't even have to step foot in the cleaning aisle because all you need is the baking aisle, the produce aisle, and then vinegars. I don't really know. It's usually in the canned vegetables area. Depends on where you're going. But you can get all these products for less than $5. You can probably already get them within your house. Someone in your house, I'm sure, has it, or someone in your apartment or something like that. It's not too far off. Totally accessible, easy to use, super affordable. The moral of this podcast is just to show you one of the many ways that I've talked about before to be sustainable without sacrificing efficiency, without sacrificing your wallet. It really is possible to make small changes in your everyday life to promote sustainability in a variety of ways. Sustainability goes so much beyond planting trees or going to protests. While those things are essential, we can be taking action within our own households. And especially right now where we can't really leave our households that much, we need to be doing whatever we can within the house to promote sustainability. I hope you've learned something from this podcast. If you have your own cleaning tips that you use and you're listening to this on the blog, I encourage you to leave in the comments what are your cleaning secrets that are natural? What are some misconceptions you have heard about cleaning products? What are some of the things, outstanding questions that you might have? Let me know in the comments and I will be happy to reply or also get a conversation going about how we can promote sustainability in our houses through cleaning. I hope you all have a wonderful day, are able to stay safe, stay clean, and just be well. Remember to take care of yourself. Until next time.